Good morning, everyone. Give everybody a quick minute to get seated here. It's a pleasure to welcome everyone here to public meeting, and we're going to commence the 10th meeting of the Public Utility Commission for calendar year 2013, and I would ask you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first matter on this morning's agenda is the approval of the minutes from the May 9th meeting, and it's a pleasure to introduce Commissioner Whitmer, which I'm sitting here with bated breath to see how she does the editorial review of the minutes and its formatted context here. It might be iambic pentameter here this morning, but with that, I direct.
Very good iambic pentameter. I like it.
Yes, so that's good Jesuit training. So with that, I'd like to recognize Commissioner Whitmer as the editor of the minutes. Commissioner Whitmer.
First,
Gardner, you're a little too close to comfort.
I have a little personal space here.
Yes, too much. Come on, get over here. Making me nervous.
You can't hog in on this light here. All right. So, Mr. Chairman, Edward Snowden and I have carefully reviewed the minutes from the May 9th, 2013 public meeting, and I submit that they now be leaked to the public for approval as submitted.
Second. Any discussion from the Department of Homeland Security?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Gardner.
I'd like to be associated with Commissioner Whitmer's.
Well, we can get you a hotel room in Hong Kong if you'd like to. With that, hearing no objections, the minutes are approved as submitted. And let me apologize for the levity here, but we always need that every once in a while in public meeting. And to get on to the serious business, it's a pleasure to welcome to the podium Ms. Cheryl Walker-Davis. And Cheryl, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
May it please this Honorable Commission, on behalf of your various offices and bureaus, we present for your consideration and disposition the following agenda items. Commencing this morning with matters on behalf of the Office of Special Assistance, it should be noted that the first item pertaining to Susan Hewitt versus PUC Energy Company, appearing on page 1, has been withdrawn by the Bureau. So we will commence on page 2, and it is recommended that the Commission adopt all items appearing on pages 2, starting with the petition to appeal staff action of the City of Philadelphia and continuing with the remaining item on page 2, as well as all items on pages 3, 4, 5, through and including the first item at the top of page 6 pertaining to George Kopp Jr. versus PUC Energy Company.
So moved. Second. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Should be noted that at the bottom of page 6, the recommendation with regard to Keystone Cab Service has been postponed until public meeting of July the 16th, as well as on page 7, the recommendations with regard to Dollar Taxi, Good Cab, Amigo Taxi on page 8, Easy Taxi, and Diamond Taxi, all postponed until public meeting of July the 16th.
So noted.
Continuing with the presentation of agenda items, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendation pertaining to PUC investigation and enforcement versus Admire Limousine, Inc. at the bottom of page 8, as well as all items appearing on pages 9, 10, and 11 through and including the recommendation with regard to Canadian Pacific Railroad.
So moved. Second. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Turning to matters on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, it's recommended that the Commission adopt the first 3 items appearing on page 12 through and including the Default Service Program compliance filing for PECO. They're appearing.
So moved. Second. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
With regard to UGI's leak detection pilot program, there is the joint motion, Mr. Chairman, that you have with Vice Chairman Coleman.
Thank you. Good morning. Before the Commission for disposition is the leak detection pilot program filed by UGI Utilities, Inc., Gas Division, and this is pursuant to the Commission's February 19th order in this docket. Specifically, the order required UGI to explore enhanced leak detection measures and file a pilot program to utilize one or more of those enhanced leak detection measures throughout the city of Allentown. I should note here this morning that UGI's pilot program states that the company will, 1, initiate a request for proposal to solicit alternative natural gas leak detection measures to be implemented in the city of Allentown during calendar year 2013-2014 winter season. Second, as an interim approach, undertake additional quarterly leak detection surveys on all cast iron mains in the city of Allentown from April 1st, 2013 through November 30th, 2013, using traditional measures. And then finally, provide a written report to the Commission on or before June 1st of 2014, describing the results of the pilot program. Now, the Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement filed comments to UGI's pilot program. In their comments, I&E took issue with the entirety of the UGI pilot program. Upon review of UGI's proposed pilot program and I&E's comments, we find that the company's plan substantially complies with the Commission's directive outlined in the February 19th order. UGI's pilot program will enhance its Allentown leak detection program in 2 ways. First, through additional quarterly leak detection surveys from April 1st, 2013 through November 30th, 2013. And second, through an enhanced wintertime survey from November 1st, 2013 through March 31st, 2014. Thus, in our view, UGI's program will enhance its leak surveying in and around the Allentown area immediately over a full 1-year cycle. In my view, and I know the Vice Chairman joins me in this, the use of the RFP process to solicit bids for an enhanced wintertime survey is prudent to determine what enhanced leak detection technologies exist in the marketplace and to ensure that a fair price is paid for in using this hopefully winning technology. We also find UGI's proposal to conduct a quarterly leak detection survey to be reasonable. We do, however, agree with I&E that these additional surveys should be conducted on all high-risk pipe in and around the Allentown area as defined using UGI's DIMP model rather than only cast iron mains as proposed by UGI. And I'd remind our I&E staff that UGI management remains steadfast in their commitment to develop world-class standards around gas safety. Therefore, this morning, we move that first, that UGI Utilities Gas Division Leak Detection Pilot Program be approved as modified herein, and that the Bureau of Technical Utility Services prepare an opinion and order consistent with this motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the joint motion passes unanimously.
Continuing with the presentation of agenda items, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the staff recommendation pertaining to the application of Building Bridges Transportation LLC at the bottom of page 12, as well as all items appearing on pages 13, 14, 15. Should be noted on page 16 that the first item pertaining to the petition of Equitable Gas Company to approve its long-term infrastructure improvement plan has been postponed until public meeting of July the 16th. The recommendation continues with all items on page 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 through and including the recommendation pertaining to the Reading, Blue Mountain, and Northern Railroad.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Turning now to matters presented on behalf of the Law Bureau, it is recommended that the Commission adopt all items appearing on page 22 through and including the recommendation pertaining to the petition of Columbia Gas.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
And on behalf of the Office of Administrative Law Judge, with regard to the first item pertaining to the proceeding involving James E. Coggins versus PPL Electric Utilities Corporation, there is the motion of Commissioner Cawley.
I'd like to recognize Commissioner Cawley for purposes of his motion. Commissioner Cawley.
Thank you, Chairman. I ask that my 3 pages of legalese be placed in the transcript of our meeting as if I had read all of it. Let me paraphrase in plain English. James Coggins is a, quote, permanent resident of the Echo Valley Campground in Tremont, Pennsylvania. He filed a complaint against PPL Electric Utilities alleging that he was being overcharged for his electric service And also, he complained about what he alleged to be safety violations. The administrative law judge dismissed the complaint against PPL for lack of standing, meaning primarily because, which is accurate, that he is not a customer of PPL because the campground buys its power from PPL on a wholesale basis and resells it to those who are in residence at the campground. So the ALJ got it right. PPL is not the proper respondent here. And the issue is whether the proper respondent should be the campground itself. The motion gives Mr. Coggins two alternatives under the Public Utility Code. The first is to file an amended complaint against the campground rather than PPL because no wholesale purchaser of electricity may resell that power to a residential customer for more than what the utilities tariff provides as the maximum rate for a residential customer. We have never decided, as far as we can tell, whether a permanent resident of a campground is a residential customer for purposes of Section 13 of the Public Utility Code. So if he files an amended complaint against the campground, that matter will likely go to an administrative law judge again, and we'll decide the issue of whether he may be granted relief against the campground. Or alternatively, for violations of Section 1313, an entity like the campground is criminally liable for overcharging customers. So instead of coming to us, he may file a complaint with a magisterial district court and proceed under that course of action. My motion gives him these alternatives. Either one, within 30 days of entry of an order, he may file an amended complaint substituting the campground as the respondent and proceeding before the commission by seeking a refund or at least an investigation into the campground's pricing. Or he may file a private criminal complaint with the appropriate magisterial district court pursuant to Sections 1313 and 3313 of the Public Utility Code, seeking the imposition of per violation penalties for summary offenses. And therefore, I move that the administrative law judge's decision be affirmed in part, allowing the dismissal of PPL Electric Utilities Corporation as a respondent. 2, that the decision of the administrative law judge be modified in part to allow the complainant to file an amended complaint naming Echo Valley Campground as the respondent, or in the alternative, 3, the complainant may file a private criminal complaint with the appropriate magisterial district court pursuant to Section 3313 of the Public Utility Code. 4th, in the event that the complainant does not file an amended complaint with us, as described above, within 30 days of an entry of an order permitting him to do so, this matter shall be closed. And finally, that the Office of Special Assistance prepare an order consistent with this motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously, noting Commissioner Cawley's 3-page motion. It's 12 pages short of the traditional 15-page motion, and we appreciate the brevity here this morning that he's displayed.
I would only note, Chairman, that you are going to make the wind motion later on.
Au contraire, mon frere. I think another commissioner is going to do that.
Continuing with the presentation of agenda items, on behalf of the Office of Administrative Law Judge, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the remaining 2 recommendations on page 23 pertaining to Rock Spring Water and Peoples Township LLC, as well as all of the administrative law judge recommendations appearing on pages 24, 25, 26, and 27 through and including ALJ Caldwell's recommended decision pertaining to the statement involving the Metropolitan Edison Company Consumer Education Charge Reconciliation Statement.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, we now turn to page 28, and we have the motion with regard to appointments to the Consumer Advisory Council, and I believe that's your motion, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I simply would like to have the motion entered into the record as if read in its entirety. Today, we're just approving the new nominees to serve as members of the Consumer Advisory Council for calendar year 2013-2014, and I'd simply note that, I thank the Governor's Office, the State Senate, the State House, both majority and minority caucuses for sending over very capable members to be part of this effort. So I'd simply add that we'd like to have this entered into the record and hopefully get approval here this morning.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
That concludes the regular agenda items. Turning now to the carry-in agenda. It is recommended that the Commission adopt the Bureau of Administration's recommendation with regard to assessing local exchange carriers for broadband outreach and aggregation fund.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
It is recommended that the Commission adopt, on behalf of the Office of Special Assistance, the recommendation to grant the petition for reconsideration pending review of the merits in the proceeding involving James Crehan versus Duquesne Light Company.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
On page 2 of the carry-in agenda, on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, it's recommended that the Commission adopt the 3 recommendations, concluding with the recommendation pertaining to the application of First Class Transportation, Inc.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
On page 3 of the carry-in agenda, on behalf of the Law Bureau, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendation pertaining to PennDOT.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Turning now to the supplemental carry-in agenda, it is recommended on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services that the Commission adopt the recommendation pertaining to Peoples Township LLC's annual increase in rate proposal.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, that does conclude the presentation of agenda items.
I believe we do have one last remaining item to come before the Commission, and I'd like to recognize Commissioner Whitmer for the presentation of a quick statement regarding Global Wind Day. So, Commissioner Whitmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like our joint statement to be entered into the record as if I'd read it in its entirety, and I will not be windy, as Commissioner Cawley. The Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission, along with the wind energy associations worldwide, are pleased to publicly recognize that Global Wind Day will be held this Saturday, June 15th. Pennsylvania embraces truly an all of the above and below approach to energy generation in alternative and renewable energy sources such as wind, and recognizes them as key components of Pennsylvania's current energy portfolio. In 2004, the General Assembly enacted the Alternative Energy Portfolio Standards Act, requiring that 18% of all energy generation come from alternative and renewable energy sources by 2021. Of that 18%, 8% must be derived from Tier 1 renewable energy sources like wind. Some key facts about Pennsylvania energy and wind. Pennsylvania is home to the first commercial wind farm east of the Mississippi River, which is located in Somerset County. Pennsylvania currently has over 660 turbines, representing approximately 1,300 megawatts, and ranks 15th nationally in total installed wind capacity. Pennsylvania was 9th nationally for new capacity wind installations in 2012. Pennsylvania's installed wind power avoids over 1.7 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions annually, And Pennsylvania is home to at least 22 manufacturing facilities that assemble or manufacture components that are important to the wind energy industry. Another clear indicator of the importance of wind in Pennsylvania is the fact that the Commonwealth served as a founding member of the Governor's Wind Energy Coalition. Wind is an important part of the Commonwealth's all of the above and below energy portfolio. So we are pleased to bring awareness to this renewable energy resource through the recognition of Global Wind Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Whitmer. On that note, we are adjourned.
Chairman.
Oh, Commissioner Pauly.
I believe the Vice Chairman seconded that joint motion earlier. Instead, I second the joint motion, since he was one of the moving parties, just to make it official.
Noted by the Secretary's office. So noted. Now we're officially adjourned.